Boy, oh boy, the 2024 NBA playoffs have been pretty wild up to this point. And one series I'm very interested to see is the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do believe, according to Vegas, Denver is favored to win this series, and I understand why. Nikola Jokic, arguably the best player in basketball. Jamal Murray, one of the most underrated point guards in the NBA still to this day. The ultimate closer, the ultimate tough shot maker. Michael Porter Jr., who fell in the draft to the Denver Nuggets somehow, some way, is really coming to his own. The Denver Nuggets have a decent bench. I love Mike Malone as a head coach. I think that Michael Malone is really, really good. Arguably near the cream of the crop. I mean, there's Steve Kerr, there's Eric Spoelstra, and then who else do you look at? Maybe a Tom Thibodeau, maybe a Nick Nurse. I think that Michael Malone is at least in that conversation. He's a proven championship level head coach because Denver just won the championship. I say all that to say this. Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, they will knock off Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets in the 2024 playoffs. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Minnesota. That series versus the Phoenix Suns, everyone's, acting like, oh, Phoenix, they're just such a fraudulent team. And listen, there's reason to believe there needs to be some type of changes to the Phoenix Suns roster, whether it be, trading some players away, getting more assets, maybe changing a head coach, because Frank Vogel, to me, there is some questions about him. But Phoenix is a really, really talented team, and Minnesota swept them. Now, the Denver Nuggets essentially almost swept the Lakers. So, I get it. You're going against the defending champions. But you look at that Los Angeles Lakers series, and the Lakers actually led the Denver Nuggets for about 65% of the minutes in that series. I think even a little bit over that, according to the analytics. It's just one of those situations where Denver, they were just so good in the clutch that it didn't matter. And the Lakers, for all intents and purposes, let's be real, people. The Lakers, they were a borderline play-in team for most of the season. They caught fire at the end of the year. The Lakers were very much over-exaggerated and overrated as a team. Not to take anything away from Denver, but all I'm saying is I don't think the Lakers were the type of team that could have completely exposed Denver. But Minnesota, with Rudy Gobert down low, Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Karl Anthony Towns being a big body that can cause Nikola Jokic to kind of chase him around and actually play defense, Anthony Edwards pressuring the rim and also hitting jump shots on the outside, hitting three-point shots. I'm here to tell you right now, Minnesota has the personnel to knock off the Denver Nuggets. I think Minnesota right now, if I were to bet money, they're going to win the 2024 NBA Finals. And I don't think I'm being a prisoner of the moment. I think Minnesota has the roster. Anthony Edwards is your best player. That guy can win a championship. This could be a Dwayne Wade situation where no one really thought Dwayne Wade was going to win a championship being 23 years old in the NBA Finals versus Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. But Dwayne Wade turned the corner and he showed the world, yeah, I'm that guy. And I think Anthony Edwards potentially is on that type of run where he can go on a Dwayne Wade type of run early in his career, super young, super athletic. The league hasn't seen many guys like him. Big, strong, athletic, super quick, can hit pull-up jump shots, can hit pull-up threes, and he inspires confidence in his team. And call me crazy, but in terms of just leadership qualities, in terms of just competitive nature, give me Anthony Edwards over Nikola Jokic any day of the week. I love Nikola Jokic. I think he's great, but we're talking about Nikola Jokic potentially as some people in the media saying he could be a top 10 player of all time. I'm not quite there yet. I think Jokic is already an all-time great. Already one of the 25 greatest basketball players we've ever seen. You know what? I'll even go as far to say probably top 20. Can he get to the top 10 level? I mean, the top 10 is getting a little bit crowded in terms of guys we're considering, but maybe. But let's see him do it. And the one thing about Jokic is, in the past, we've talked about his defensive limitations and how teams can really expose that. Last year, some of these teams that Jokic faced, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals, they were not a team that was equipped to expose Nikola Jokic's weaknesses. I think Minnesota can wear Jokic down, and Jokic is going to get his. He's going to pass the basketball exceptionally well. He's probably going to give you a cool 25 points, 12 rebounds on pretty good efficiency. But if anyone can make things tough for Jokic and the Nuggets and expose some of that roster's weaknesses, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I got to say, I'm a little bit worried about Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has dealt with some injuries this year. We're not really sure if he's the best version of himself because he's been very streaky in these playoffs up to this point. And if Jamal Murray were to go down with an injury, then Denver's done. I don't think Jokic, as good as he is, I don't think he can carry them in the Western Conference to the NBA Finals and to potentially winning the championship over a team like Boston or even the Knicks, who have been looking really, really good, okay? Call me crazy, but I think the Knicks are really, really good and really, really talented. So Minnesota's my pick to win the 2024 NBA championship. I think that they're going to knock off the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. Call me crazy, but that's how I feel, and I cannot wait to see if it happens. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves win an all-time great classic series. They match up well with Denver, and I think Anthony Edwards and that team will rise up, step up, and get it done, and potentially win the NBA championship in 2024.